So it's not a very good shot because I'm actually taking it through the lid. Because as soon as I pop the lid off, these guys are going to start jumping away. Everybody says they're afraid of light. They'll start burying themselves. Everybody says they're afraid of light, but I don't think so, because as you can see, it's really bright right here. And I've actually just turned some lights off, so it's even darker in here right now, but I've got my shop light right over there. And they're not afraid of the light. As you can see, they're just kind of... I get the spots out of the way. I know it's awful. There they are. This is my mother colony of Springtails that I started thanks to one of my subscribers. Adam, thank you very much. They are doing wonderfully. He sent me a starter colony, and I have them multiplying all over the place. I've got a couple of smaller colonies that I've already broken off of this that I can use at a more regular kind of interval. But if you can see here, I've actually, whoops, I'm tripping over stuff. I've actually got them in a rather large tote. Focus. In a rather large tote rather than smaller ones that you see a lot of people have. But when I pop this lid off, they're going to start jumping and scattering. So if the image blurs, I'm sorry about that, but I'm going to try to catch them bouncing. Okay, here we go. Because I don't think it's the light that they're running from. Can I focus? Oh no. Focus. I don't think it's the light that they're running from. It's the air pressure difference. When I pop the lid and fresh air comes in, that's when they start scattering. That's actually a little blob of brewer's yeast powder. But as you can see in their habitat, they've got loads of charcoal. I've got them some detritus leaves and a bunch of sphagnum moss. So that way, if I'm not giving them treats like the rice or the yeast, they have plenty of stuff that they can eat. Let's take a look here. They are scattered all throughout this bin because one thing I've also been doing is that pile of yeast that you see there, and that was the initial group that we were looking at through the lid. I moved the yeast around and I put it in different places so that way they congregate in different places of the bin. So that way they spread out a little more readily. I'm not seeing any more big clumps, but that's probably because I've got the lid off. And my lighting in here is kind of dark right now. So yeah, that's my mother colony. Thanks, Adam. There they go. They're so cute. Oh my goodness, little tiny dudes. Little springtails. And I just got them a new food today. I know the rice, I got plenty of rice for them. But I don't know, I kind of like mixing it up. And this brewer's yeast just makes them so happy that I actually found a product oh, look, there's little babies. Oh, little baby springtails. Hi, babies. Can we zoom in, maybe? Oh, look at the little dudes. Oh, they right in the cracks. There they go. That's what they do. Oh, little babies. Look at them. Little brother and sister. I don't know if they are or not, but well, that makes me happy. I knew that they were breeding because the colony has gotten larger, obviously, visually. But it's always fun to see the babies. So, yeah, so I got him a treat of some yeast flakes, actually, that I'm thinking might be really yummy for them. Really yummy and nutritious. And it's a company that I really, really, really like that I would kind of like to turn you guys on to. I don't know if you would have access to it. I get it here in Tacoma at a store called the grocery outlet, but it is a brand called Anthony's, and they have really affordable organic products. I like their dried white mulberries. I get matcha powder. I get moringa powder. I've got these amazing bags of spirulina powder. I got the yeast flakes today. Okay, they're all pretty much in there now. So we're gonna put the lid back on, and I'm gonna take you over to look at our little products here that I've got set up for you, because the first video I made, for some reason, it was doing the black bars on either side like I was holding my phone vertical rather than horizontal. But this is the company, Anthony's. Really great stuff. This bag of spirulina powder, 4 ounces, cost me $4.95. This is a whole pound of yeast flakes I got for $9. And if you look on the back here, the ingredients: pure organic spirulina powder from Glendale, California. There's their Facebook and their Twitter. There's their physical address, and right up here at anthonysgoods.com. This is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I just found such a wonderful product on so many different things, and it's extra cool to me that not only have I found really great products for myself as a human being to take in, but I've actually found stuff that's being meant for humans that are perfectly safe and fine for my aquariums and all my other little terrarium critters and whatnot. And let's see here, ingredients. Okay, that's got a couple more ingredients in it, but still, that's good stuff. So yeah, if you guys want to check them out, I highly recommend them. It's a really good product. I probably got about 6 or 7 of these bags right now. This one's about that full still, and I've been using it for multiple tanks, mostly for the babies and feeding in between solid food dates for my snails. But I'm going to come over here real quick and peek, because I'm going to use my camera to actually get a look in here real quick. I've been having some problems with a couple tanks. Not this one. I think I've pulled all the full-sized ram's horns out of here. This is just a plant tank, but I know there's some babies in there still, so. And I think one juvenile snail. But then there's our Venus and our little bowl garden. We got our little moss terrarium, moss garden, I should say. We've got a water plant in there growing. He's got a snail and that one right there. And we got a couple terrariums over here. But yeah, so yeah, check them out. Yeah, let me show you my tank problems. So yeah, that's the problem I'm having in 2 of my tanks, actually. This one is the grow out tank. I just stuck a couple new plants in there the last couple days to help with the oxygenation. I broke down the brownie jar nursery and put everybody in here. But it's just really weird how it kind of happened on the same day as the other tank. In this one, there were a couple of dead snails that I knew was probably attributing to it. And being that I've got it mostly bare bottom, you know, with no substrate, I thought it would be easier to clean up and to vacuum up after these little poop tanks. But I'm wondering now if the amount of surface available is enough surface for the bacteria that needs to be in here, because I can see my dog's shadow in the reflection walking by. The filter actually ended up unplugging itself for about a day before I noticed it. So I know that had something to do with it. I've lost I think 3 of the coal shrimp that were in here, and there were only 5. So there's 2 in here puttering around. One of them had babies, and I'm only seeing 1 baby, so I may have ended up killing them as well. But I got some water clarifier today, and it's helped a little bit, I think. But everything I read said not to totally freak out about it, just give it some time. And if it doesn't clear up in a few days, consult a local professional, which, FYI, I don't have one. So I've got such a hard learning curve. So yeah, I'm about ready to start fishing the bigger ones out and taking them down to the fish store. More than anything, just so I can lessen the population. This is just a 5-gallon tank. And as you can see, there's quite a few. We can come over here in the corner. They're all kind of piled up a little bit. There. So I'm trying not to feed them. And I think I was also definitely overfeeding them, because I'm finding that, for the most part, snails don't eat your plants. They only eat the dying plants unless they're hungry. If they're hungry, they will eat a healthy plant. So I've been trying to keep them really well fed so they don't eat my plants. And I think that was a mistake, mixed with, excuse me, the filter unplugging for a day. And I know it was just a day because I was fiddling with it the day before. Let me show you the other tank. Okay, so this is the other tank I was having problems with. The exact same problem. In this one, I think I pretty much know what the problem was, and that was I had several snails die in here, and we had an ammonia spike. So unfortunately, I did get them a new plant, but because one of the things I was noticing was all their plants were dying. And with the main snails being in here and the blue velvet shrimp being in here, I really needed some plants. And they were dying. So I was taking them out, and I was waiting for a few days for a new shipment to come in here locally. And in the interim of waiting for them to show up, this thing crashed. I do have one blue velvet shrimp left. One singular. Honest to God, I'm not sure if he's going to make it to last couple days. I've done a whole lot of water changes on this. Slow, but a lot nonetheless, which is why I know my oldest blue shrimp, the female, she died yesterday, and I kind of expected it. I was hoping against it, but so yeah, that one's cleared up quite a bit. I'm still not happy with it. It needs more plants. I'm going to be pulling that cholla wood out in the rock. I have another plant out of a plant tank and put in there. Free up some space, make it a little easier to maneuver for me in there, because this is only a 3.5-gallon tank, which is a really good lesson for me. Once these tanks, these smaller nano tanks, are clear of critters, I think I will never put another critter in them again. I think they will be dedicated to plant only. Maybe toss some ghost shrimp in for maintenance, but yeah, pretty hard on the wildlife. Unfortunately, one of the things that happened in this tank when we had some deaths, one of the deaths a couple days after the tank crashed and I was trying some maintenance, one of the deaths was one of the pink fathers. So we've got this pink father left here. Sorry about the glare. Got that one there, and we still have pink mother, but officially with one of the pink fathers dying, 1/3 of my genetic pool has been wiped out. So these two are going to have to make a lot of babies, because I really don't want to nor intend on spending any more money at my local fish store. It's something I've had to decide to do. Because they're just not what I'm into, and they have no interest in anything I'm interested in. And the one thing I can get there, the blue velvet shrimp, has pretty much a 95% mortality rate. And that's because shrimp don't matter to them. And when I'm buying 2 and 3 at a time, I know that might sound silly to a lot of shrimpers, but I'm still kind of new. I'm coming up on a year in the hobby, and I'm still learning. And one of the things I've learned is save my money. Don't go to the local fish store. It doesn't give a shit one way or the other about their shrimp. And just spring for the overnight shipping to buy from a reputable person, because per shrimp, it pretty much comes out to the same cost. So anyways, we've got that one cleared up. Got a couple culls in this plant tank there. Again, Adam, when he sent me the Springtails, sent me some plants as well. And you kind of see this one here is doing actually really well. This from that bud up is all new growth after having been submerged in the water. This one back in here, you can see the bright green. I'm sure you recognize that. That one's also not dying off. I had some meltage back towards the root system, which is in this little cup. But the roots are really great and really healthy, and they're doing really well. They're not dying. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm a little exhausted with these tanks, so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Just one more quick thing. I love these little stick-on-the-wall shrimp feeders, these little shrimp bowl things, but this is my favorite thing to use them for. To put the Merrymo mossballs in it, because it keeps it up off the substrate. Everybody can use it. I am shocked that the mystery snails, the apple snails, haven't pushed it out of the bowl yet. But it actually freed up a big space on the floor of my tank by putting it in a cup. And they all get to clean what it's been under now. And it's, I don't know, I really like it now. So yeah, I think I got it for like $2 on eBay. So yeah, I like my Merrymo ball in there. All right. Wow, there goes my finger. Wow, finger in your eye.